morning, dear viewer. It's a beautiful Friday morning. The sun is up, bright and shining upon our faces. As we usually say, it is because of God's mercies that we are able to see this day. This morning, we have an opportunity to receive yet a bright ray of heaven's beauties and glories. And so this morning, we talk about a sensitive conscience. Have you ever heard of PTSD? Post-traumatic stress disorder. Well, I'll tell you something about it. Imagine of soldiers who go to war. Let's say Bonny Forest, down in coast. And so they experience the bandits are attacking them, and some soldiers die in their presence. When these soldiers go back to their residential places after the war is over or after the battle is over, and then they remember the events that took place, stress will get into them, and they will be sensitive to anything that will remind them of that scenario. Some of them may have fantasies, some of them may have flashbacks, some may have bad dreams, some may have fears, exacerbated fears concerning the memories of such events. We call that post-traumatic stress disorder. In it, the memories of such events make the soldiers or those who have gone through such traumas to be sensitive to anything that is linked to such trauma. This morning, I present to you something special. Yes, Jesus requires us to be sensitive. Why? Because our adversary, the devil, is around about us, roaring like a lion. And so us being sensitive, we'll be able to rise above his wiles and also his proceeds. And so why does he require us to be sensitive? He wants us to be sensitive towards temptation. And how will we achieve that sensitivity? Is through his law. Jesus is the direct glory of the law of God. And so he desires to reflect and to illuminate brightly our minds with the truths of eternity, with the truths of the law of God. And this brightness will shine upon our dark areas of our lives, such that we will know which is the right way to go and right way to follow. The goal of Christ is for us to have an obedience. And obedience to his law will strengthen our intellects. And as it strengthens our intellect, it makes our conscience sensitive. And so an inborn obedience comes to us. And that is the desire of our Father. It's the desire of our advocate, that we may be sensitive. Look at Jesus Christ. Sensitive to the law of God. He was not able to sin. And so you too can overcome sin if only you learn to be sensitive. How will you make your conscience sensitive to sin? Is when you overcome and obey the law of God always. Do you desire to do so? I call you this morning. Be sensitive to the law of God. In so doing, you will overcome sin. The book of James, chapter 4, verse 7. The scripture records, "Submit yourself therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you." The devil can also flee from you. Just be sensitive to his temptation. Thank you for joining us this morning. I am Jovin Odhiambo for KUSDA TV.